Hello YouTube, Cousin Kinoko here and welcome to another pickup video. First off, picked up Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast and bought this on eBay, and the seller also threw in 2 copies of Choo Choo Rocket for free, and altogether I paid €4.80 including shipping for these 3 games. I already have a copy of Choo Choo Rocket, so I'm actually not sure what I'm gonna do with these 2. I guess I'll use them for trading or something like that. Choo Choo Rocket is pretty much the most common game there is for the Dreamcast, so it's not really something that I can resell so easily. But I've been wanting to play Sonic Adventure and I've never played it before, so that's why I decided to pick this up. A little bit broken here, but other than that, pretty decent condition. So, and then flea market finds. First off, we have Stitch Experiment 626 for the PS2. I paid €2 for this, and when I opened it up, it came with Stitch for the PS2, and there was another disc inside it, which I've put in a separate case here now. It's Grand Theft Auto Episodes from Liberty City, which has 2 GTA games here, The Lost and the Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony. Okay, first off, Stitch. This is a horrible game. I really don't recommend anyone to pick this up unless you're a little kid with ADHD and you know, you have no attention span. It's a pretty bad game. The reason for that is it's extremely hectic. The little character Stitch runs around like crazy, so it's impossible to control him. And that combined with really bad camera control makes it just unbearable to play. And the camera just, you know, jumps around like crazy. And the gameplay is really simple and boring as well. It's just really basic. You run around and you blow up everything there is. That's all there is to it. So I'm gonna sell this, or if anyone wants to trade it, I don't know. I want to get rid of it in any case. Yeah, I paid €2 for these 2. I don't know if I already mentioned that. I don't have the Xbox 360 actually, so I have no way of trying this, but I'm gonna hold on to this for now, and you know, at some point I will get an Xbox 360, and then I will get to play this game. I really like GTA, so I'm quite happy about finding that. And then I also picked up Dynasty Warriors Advance. It's sealed, as you can see. Paid €2 for this, and this game has pretty bad reviews. It's supposed to stray quite far away from the typical gameplay of the Dynasty Warriors series, and well, I haven't played Dynasty Warriors, any of the games really, so I don't really know anything about that, but this is a hack and slash game pretty much, as far as I can tell. I watched some gameplay on YouTube, but it's a really cheap game to pick up, so even sealed, it's not really worth much. Picked up another sealed game, Dirge of Cerberus, I don't know how to pronounce that, Final Fantasy VII, and this was only €1, so that's really cheap, but the thing is, it's in Spanish actually. It says here that it's got subtitles in Castellano, and although I can read a bit of Spanish, I don't really want to play through a whole Final Fantasy game in Spanish, so I'm gonna sell this, or if anyone wants to trade it, that would be really great. Just send me a message and I'm willing to trade for pretty much anything. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy. I actually never heard about this game, and watched some gameplay video, and it turns out it's not really an RPG in this traditional Final Fantasy style. It's more of a hack and slash fighter thing, like God of War or something like that. So yeah, it's in Spanish. If there's any Spanish viewers out there, send me a message. Then I picked up a Game Boy title, and that is, let me see if I can open it here, Spanky's Quest. This game was also released for the Super Nintendo, and for the Super Nintendo it's a really rare title. For the Game Boy, I don't think it's rare. I think it's pretty common. But when I saw this on the flea market, I somehow had in the back of my mind that this is a rare game, just because I've read somewhere that the Super Nintendo version is rare. And then I read that it's from Natsume, which a lot of their games are worth quite a bit on eBay actually, and probably because they make good titles, but at the same time their titles didn't sell that well. They made stuff like Harvest Moon and Real Fishing and stuff like that. But this is a pretty good puzzle game. The closest thing that I can think of would be Bubble Bobble, because instead of shooting bubbles from his mouth, he basically bounces like a ball or a bubble or whatever on his head, and then he attacks his enemies with that bubble, and you have this kind of one screen levels type of thing, and it's got password saves as well. So recommended title. Paid €3 for this on the flea market. And then I picked up the Emperor's New Groove from Disney for the Game of Color. It's a pretty decent platformer there. And then I picked up 5 games for the Game Boy Advance, and I paid €12 for these altogether. We have Digimon Battle Spirit. This plays like Super Smash Brothers, but it seems like a really boring game, and I didn't really like it at all. I'm gonna give it another try, but it seems like a really simple game, and it gets boring real fast, I can imagine. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. I'm not a huge fan of Pokemon, haven't played the Pokemon game so much. This is actually a German language version, so if there are any German viewers out there who would like to trade, give me a message and let's see what we can do. Lilo and Stitch. This actually plays a bit like Metal Slug. It's a run and gun shooter, and seems like a pretty good game, so quite happy about that. Doom. Pretty decent port of Doom, considering the Game Boy Advance, the power of the Game Boy Advance. Obviously it's not as good as on the PC, but it's fully playable. It's a pretty good game on the GBA. I was a huge fan of Doom when it came out. I was playing it on the PC all the time, so I'd like to get all the different ports of Doom that's out there. I think Doom 2 was also ported to the GBA. So I'm looking for that. This is the best game of the bunch, Gradius Advance. Of course, as you all probably know, this is a vertically scrolling shooter, and I've been finding some Gradius stuff lately. Picked up Gradius Collection for the PSP as well. But this is a brand new game. It's not a port, so it's made exclusively for the GBA, and it's really good. It also saves your high scores, which is a big plus for me, because I really like high scores. So this is I would say this is a must-own for the GBA. It's called something else in the US though. It's called something like, I don't know, Gradius Galaxy or something, I don't know. It's got a different title in the US at least. So that's it for those GBA games. And I also picked up 2 Wii games. We have Crash, Mind Over Mutant, and Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition. I think Crash was good on the PS1, but after that it kind of went bad after Naughty Dog left the franchise. But I still decided to pick this up and give it a chance, so let's see if it's any good. I haven't tried it yet. Resident Evil 4, I have this for GameCube and PlayStation 2 already, so this is like the 3rd copy of Resident Evil 4. And I still haven't gotten around to play it. I know it's like supposed to be the best Resident Evil game there is. I'd actually like to ask you guys, how would you do it? Because the thing is, I've only ever played through Resident Evil 1, and I really love that game. I played the remake for the GameCube. I thought it's amazing, but I haven't played any of the other Resident Evil games. And then I started playing Resident Evil 0 for the GameCube, and I didn't really get into it. I didn't think it was as good, or nowhere near as good as the first one. So would you would you guys recommend that I would go from Resident Evil 1 and then go on with 2, 3, 4, etc., Code Veronica X or whatever? Or should I just skip straight to Resident Evil 4? I'm a little bit tempted, but at the same time I would like to play the series in a chronological order, so I'm not really sure what I should do there. But anyway, these two Wii games cost me €9 at the flea market. So I also picked up two more Game Boy Color games here, R-Type DX and Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a pretty mediocre platformer, but R-Type DX is actually an uncommon game for the Game Boy Color. And as far as I can understand, it's 3 games in one. You know, it's one of these black cartridges, which means you can either play it on your Game Boy or your Game Boy Color. If you plug this into your Game Boy, you're going to get the choice between R-Type 1 and R-Type 2. And in your Game Boy Color, you will be playing R-Type DX, so it's 3 games in one. And although R-Type is just so hard, I still really like the series, and I'd like to get all the R-Type games. Those 2 games were €3 together. And then I picked up 3 more Game Boy games here. We have Motocross Maniacs, Tasmania and Swamp Thing. I paid €4.40 for these at the flea market. Motocross Maniacs is a really good game, Tasmania is a pretty good platformer, and Swamp Thing is absolutely horrible. But I still wanted it just because I like Swamp Thing as a character, and well, apparently the NES game is a really rare game, but I guess the Game Boy game isn't really that rare. But yeah, I don't know. I want to collect as many Game Boy games as I can. So if I find things for cheap, I buy them, even though they are not considered to be very good games. And then I bought Soul Calibur 2 for the GameCube on eBay. I paid €2.50 including shipping for this. It's a pretty beat up shape, but still, I wanted to try this game. I've never played any of the Soul Calibur games, and decided to go for the GameCube version because of Link as a playable character. And yeah, it's a fighter game, so I don't have a lot of fighter games on the GameCube, so it's nice to finally have one on that system as well. And then finally, another eBay pickup here, Top Gun Firestorm for the Game Boy Color. Paid €1.90 including shipping for this, so it went really cheap. And seems like a pretty decent game. It plays a bit like Urban Strike or Jungle Strike, if you know those games. So it's kind of like an isometric view kind of thing, and you can either shoot at ground targets or air targets, and you get missions. So yeah, and it has password save as well. Okay, so that's it for my pickups this time. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and until next time.